doing a little cleanup. Make my bed, put my tools away so I can get back to living in here. Look at all this dust. Alright, I'm gonna reinstall this hunk of butcher block high enough so the fridge can sit on it. We're gonna keep this little computer exhaust fan hooked up, and that'll ventilate the back of the refrigerator. I don't know if you can tell, but it's pretty warm by day. Right now the fan's not running or nothing, so it's a beautiful day here in Florida. So let's get back to work on this. I gotta trim this countertop to fit. Looks like I gotta trim like 1 inch off. Then I gotta cut this corner 45 degrees. Then I'm just gonna put cleats on the wall and then somehow build a face frame and put the doors back on. I really need the cabinet space. You see this pile of junk here. Everything needs a home. It's all gonna go in that cabinet. And then the rest of the camper, except for that pile of shoes, will all have a home. That's how far I got. But I'm at a standstill because I'm scratching my head. I gotta come up with a plan. I just don't know what I'm doing. But I have 2 doors for here, and that's what I want to do is put the 2 doors on. I'm gonna put some screen over the vent holes. These were venting my mattress to prevent mold, which it was working pretty good, except for the window leak, which you can see. That got the corner of my bed wet, so there's a tiny bit of mold there. Not bad. But I'm gonna take a break because I'm gonna make dinner. Probably just wrap up this video. Get it up on for you guys. But yeah, this is how I just deal with my problems. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how I want it to be. I don't know what it should look like. So I just have all this information in my head, and I'll just use my imagination. I'll come up with something. Something will work, and then maybe I can get through this disaster and get everything organized, put away. I also think I'm gonna make the bed 8 inches wider. I want the most amount of bed, but I still want to be able to get through here comfortably. If I went 10 inches wider, well, that would really be tight, but that would be a normal twin size mattress at that point. So we'll see. I'll have to get another mattress, cut it down. Yeah, fun stuff. More to come. So that's that. This is temporary legs just holding this countertop in. This is exactly enough room for the fridge to fit. I gotta drill some holes so I can get power. I'm gonna put the power inside this box. And then I gotta get it energized. And that'll be power for both. I'm keeping this fan, and I'll plug in the refrigerator. And I'll probably, because I have this electric burner, this thing pulls a lot of amperage, and it will trip breakers when it's on an extension cord. But it works if you just keep it low. So maybe I'll set that up here, plugged in. I don't know. That way when I'm plugged into shore power, I won't have to burn up my propane or my butane. So those butane stoves, these stoves, they don't last very long. And them butanes are, first of all, they run out very quickly. And they're a little bit pricey. Probably the most expensive way to heat. I'm gonna take a page from Adventure Van Man and get me a big 10-pound barbecue tank outside and see how that works out for us. So, all right, let's go make some dinner. Let's go. This is where I get my wood boards from. Neighbor gets these pallets, like at least 2 a month, and they got a couple long boards. So I've been saving them. My favorite creek. A little dry. Mustang. Just thinking about the way things are. You know, this government's been screwing us over. You understand how capitalism works, supply and demand. So they've been putting more and more regulations on building, which is great news if you already own a home or if you already own a bunch of homes, because the supply of houses fall way short of the need. Again, that's great news for the landlord. It's terrible news for us, the peasants. And then Joe Biden gets elected, and overnight, lumber prices double. Double. People got screwed. I don't mean inconvenienced. People absolutely got screwed. It takes more than a year to build a house. You already saw your architect, got your plans, brought it down to your city hall, got them approved, plea permit, and then whammo, lumber doubles. You know, usually in your estimate, you figure in 10%, not double. So, I mean, people absolutely get screwed. So if your material list was $30,000, now it's going to cost $60,000, $70,000 to pay for these materials. Where are you coming up with this money? You know what I mean? And with material prices this high, people are getting laid off. You know, they're not building houses. It's just devastating. The housing industry is the basis. I mean, it is the essential building block of society. And it has been under attack for years. Not only do they outsource all the jobs, that takes all those people who there's people out there that should be just pulling a handle on a drill press. I'm not knocking those people. That's a, you know, mind-numbing job. And traditionally they had to entice these people with great pay, good retirement, all those sorts of things. Taking care of their workers, and take care of them, and pull a handle on a drill press. And now that we don't have those jobs, they're all getting into construction. Because, you know, a lot of people are just not qualified to do much else. And then we also have a tidal wave of both legal and illegal immigrants. And it's being done on purpose. And listen, just check this fact out. It's so hard to come to America from Asian countries. Why? Because Asians do well. They don't want that. It's so easy to come from third world countries. Why? Because they like peasants. You see the big picture? So, what our founding fathers were fighting against were the actual lords of the land versus the peasants. And in this country, the peasants are the lord, but we are being taken advantage of. And I'm not hopeless or selling hopelessness. We could turn this whole thing around. I mean, this very next election cycle, we can send a very clear message. We've got to get these people out of office. Democrats and Republicans. Everyone has got to go. I know there's a few good Republicans out there who are fighting the good fight, so I think. At least they talk a good talk. But all of the Democrats are in lockstep. If any of the Democrats get out of line, they're out of the Democrat Party. And you see what happens when you say something negative about a Democrat. Right away, there's people coming out of the woodwork about how you're a sexual offender or how you use the N-word and you're such a racist. All of these people have got to go. All of them. We've got to drain the swamp. You saw the latest Sussman trial. I barely paid attention to it. It was cut and dry. Sussman said to the FBI he was there on his own behalf, but Durham found that he billed Hillary Clinton campaign for his time to go meet with the FBI. And now that's a clear lie. He lied to the FBI, and the jury found him not guilty of lying, even though the evidence is black and white. So he definitely didn't get a fair trial. If that were you or I, we'd be spending the next 10 years in prison. That's all I got to say. So the system is rigged, not in our favor. There's one big club, and we ain't in it. See what I'm saying? It's time to break up that club. There's only, a fraction of the society that is running us into the ground. A small fraction. Unfortunately, they're in control of media, big tech, and they're running the government. So even though they're a small fraction, they have the biggest platforms in the world to spread their propaganda. So, I don't know. It's just my thoughts. This homeless situation. A house should not cost more than 1 year's pay. And these powers that be, they're raking in hundreds of millions of dollars. They don't care if a loaf of bread costs $10. What do they care? You or I, our paychecks are dwindling, down to nothing. And I'm not even worried about me, but I have children, and I want them to live a good life. And now I have grandchildren. Now I'm really furious because I want my grandson to have the same opportunities that I've had when I was young, the ones that all disappeared on me. And we could get them all back again. And I'm not fighting for my grandchild. I'm fighting for your grandchild and the future generations. And we got to put an end to these corrupt politicians. That's all there is to it. If they're cohorting with each other, making money, selling out our economy, man, that is treason. And it's very clear in the Constitution, treason, they shall be hanged by the neck until they're dead. I know it sounds harsh, but when you're put in a position of trust, founding fathers knew there had to be a severe, harsh punishment, a serious threat looming over your head so as not to take advantage of people, the people you're supposed to represent. So if a good politician that represented the people, would he allow your jobs to be shipped over to China? Absolutely not. Would he allow your economy to get into this situation we're in right now? Absolutely not. So all politicians are corrupt. That's all I got to say. There's maybe a few good ones, I don't know, but it's time for them all to go. And really, the power we, the people, have, that's what you got to keep in mind. We have the power. All we have to do is stand up, and game is over. So, all right, that's enough of my ranting. That's enough of what's going on in my head. Let's make some dinner.